Mr. Gandhi, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning and just sharing perspective on what are the key challenges that the new RBI governor faces in your view. And of course, I think we should first talk about what a stellar governor Shaktikanta Das has been. I think people underestimated what he would do, but then he really steered the ship very well during pandemic and everything that came after.
Good morning. Thank you. Yes, to start with Mr. Das, he has been a very successful governor in the last 6 years, widely acclaimed both within the country and overseas, also for his deft way of managing the financial sector, bringing in a rapprochement between government and Reserve Bank. When he took over, that was an issue. Later on, when the COVID broke up, the heavy burden was shouldered by the Reserve Bank in terms of financial facilities made extended to all types of industries and financial institutions, keeping up the liquidity tap continuously flowing. And then later on, when the world over, the inflation dragon raised its head once again, he was very tough and very firm on his first duty as governor of a central bank in maintaining that inflation control is the primary reason for existence of the central bank. Till the last count, he had been very, very firm, despite recent data, as you mentioned in the opening remarks, that growth is a little bit of coming down, but inflation has raised its head again. But he was very firm on his first duty. So that way, looking back, Mr. Das has definitely brought in much more accolades for himself and the Reserve Bank of India world over. So that is the best thing that we can do. And going forward, to look at the incoming governor, Mr. Malhotra, he has been associated with the financial sector quite a while. Earlier in his avatar as CEO of REC, then later CMD of REC, and then later as Financial Services Secretary. He had definitely been associated with the banking and financial sector and Reserve Bank also. He was on the board of the Reserve Bank of India. So that he has a good view of what is expected of governor. He has. And as you mentioned, that right now with his additional exposure in other economic ministries within the country in revenue, as revenue secretary, he has a much wider view of the economy as a whole also. That is what is very important to be a governor of the Reserve Bank of India, to have wider perspective on economy. That's a very positive point. I think you asked about what kind of challenges he may face. Luckily, he inherits very calm position today compared to almost in the last 35 years, right from Mr. Venkatramanan time. Every governor, when they came on the scene, there was a crisis, either domestic crisis or international crisis to grapple upon. Hopefully, he won't be asked to do that. We hope that he will be able to take on the base that has been now made available to him and build on that strength.
Mr. Gandhi,
yeah.
Apologies for butting in, but the question at the end of the day right now is Sanjay Malhotra, his entry at a time when the growth inflation debate is at its peak, right? Like, I just wanted to get your view. As the RBI governor, yes, inflation targeting is the primary role of the central bank. It is an inflation targeting central bank at the end of the day. Having said that, the growth question keeps propping up, and so far we've been sure that growth has not suffered, but the Q2 GDP data throws that point a little bit into question. So I just want to get your views. How should maybe an RBI governor look at this?
Yeah, the first thing I expect that he would concentrate more on whether it is a one blip of the data or it is going to be sustained in the coming quarters. And I think that's where the projections, the analytical output that the Reserve Bank's economic department will be presenting to him, and that will give him a closer look at and looking forward in the next 4 quarters, so to say, both the inflation trajectory and the growth trajectory, how it is going to be there. That will be the first hard look he will be looking at, I would presume. Then based on that, if it comes out clearly that this is a one-off blip, then he must be convincing himself that there nothing to worry about the growth, and especially and about the inflation also going forward, how it is going to behave, and he will have that ample debt management, because every 2 months the MPC meets, they will be able to take certain tactical corrections also in case if it is needed. But long term, because the country wants to grow, that is expressed in quite a few quarters that he is fully aware of. But as every governor of any central bank will do, their first duty, as I mentioned in case of Mr. Das also, Mr. Malhotra will also immediately absorb that position that my first duty is towards containing the inflation. So
Right.
if the inflation trajectory is going to be comfortable, then we should expect him to cut rates.
Right. Mr. Gandhi, let's move away from the growth inflation debate right now. In your time as the deputy governor, of course, the RBI faced a lot of crises. And then since then also, in the last 6 years of Governor Das, there's been a lot of pressures that have come on him as the RBI governor and RBI as an institution broadly, right? All of those have been dealt with, whether it be your Yes Bank rescue, Lakshmi Vilas Bank rescue, let it be PMC Bank rescue, let it be the credit markets freezing after the RNFS crisis, whether it's the COVID crisis or even the latest sort of problems with certain fintechs and specifically around microfinance, a problem that is currently taking shape. I just wanted to get your sense. What exactly were probably, in your mind, the best of the hits, if I may say, as far as Governor Das is concerned? Any sort of instances that come to your mind?
Yeah, the unique thing that I would associate with him is relating to hitting at the people who are recalcitrant and not following the rules by the book, where it hurts, in the sense that the effective enforcement actions on specific individual financial institutions, that has been quite special during his term. And it has come out, whether it is a bank or NBFC or a payment entity, irrespective of that, that approach has been applied. And we have never heard, at least I have never heard anybody saying that he has been targeting based on certain consideration beyond the financials. No. So everybody clearly admitted that actions, it is because it is the first time the entire industry had been facing such effective action. There were murmurs, but otherwise everybody did understand that this is the right way of enforcing corrective action from that entity quickly. So that's a big change during his term compared to previous regimes of that effective enforcement action. That's where I will give him the full credit. Yeah. So in the financial stability space, going forward, Mr. Malhotra also, I would hope that he would continue that kind of strain. There will be demands. There may be expectation that he should tone down kind of the severity of the enforcement. Possibly there can be some for that. But anyway, so let us hope that he will also certainly, being having been a financial services secretary, he would definitely clearly understand financial stability's importance.
Yeah. No, so it's I think most of the brokerage notes this morning talking about the transition talk about expectations of stability, and that's what's important. Thank you so much, R. Gandhi, for speaking with us this morning. Of course,
thank you.
I think what we'll miss is Governor Das's quotes every policy, quoting the father of the nation. But I'm sure the new governor, Sanjay Malhotra, will have his own sort of spin to add. All right.